He bought the contents of abandoned storage units as a side income, not a living exactly, more of an educated gamble that paid well often enough to be worth pursuing. He had been doing it for 3 years and had developed a competency for reading a unit quickly. Weight of boxes. Quality of furniture visible at the front. How an owner had organized their space told you something about whether they had organized valuable things into it. Unit 14 at a facility in central Pennsylvania went for $200 because the other bidder dropped out at the last moment. Small unit. Tightly packed. Nothing visibly remarkable at the entrance. He started in the back the way you always did. He found a cedar chest, locked, which gave under gentle persuasion with a flathead screwdriver. Inside were photographs. Good ones, well composed, strong technical quality, taken with a proper camera rather than a phone. Landscapes mostly. Some street photography from what looked like a mid-sized city. A series of long exposure shots of moving water. He appreciated the eye. He set them aside and kept going. Near the bottom of the chest was a brown envelope, sealed. He opened it. Inside were photographs of a different kind. These were surveillance photographs. Long lens, high resolution, the subject clearly unaware they were being photographed. The subject in every single photograph was him. His house from the street. His car in his driveway. Him walking his dog in the morning, he could see the exact route, the corner where the dog always stopped, the neighbor's yard. Him at the grocery store. Him in the parking lot of a restaurant he had been to maybe 4 times. Him, most recently, at this storage facility. In this parking lot. From an angle suggesting the photographer had been in the tree line at the property's edge. He sat down on the concrete floor of Unit 14. He was holding photographs of his own life, spanning 14 months based on the timestamps embedded in the corner of each print. A period during which he had felt, several times, the particular animal sensation of being observed. He had always dismissed it. He called the facility manager. The unit had been registered under a false name. Payments in cash. The intake form was a dead end. The unit had stopped being paid for 8 months ago. The auction had been triggered automatically. He called the police. They took the photographs and the envelope and opened a file. Nothing actionable was found. The case sat. He went back through his memory of the previous 14 months and tried to identify the moments in the photographs. He recognized most of them. He identified the rough date ranges. He cross-referenced them with the periods when he had felt watched. They matched almost exactly. In one of the photographs, taken from distance, there is a partial reflection in the window of a parked car. A face. He has shown it to every detective who has looked at this case. Nobody has identified it. The face is turned slightly toward the camera. It appears to be smiling. He kept everything. The photographs, the envelope, the documentation from the police file, the carrier records showing the cash payment history and false intake form. He kept them in a box in a locked cabinet in his basement. He is not sure why he kept them. He tells himself it is because you should always know what you are up against. He tells himself it is because destroying evidence, even evidence in a case that has gone nowhere, feels like surrendering something. The truth is that he keeps them because the photographs show him living his life. They show him walking his dog in the morning on the same route he still walks. Sitting in his car in the same grocery store parking lot. At the same gas station on the same county road. The photographs show a version of his life that was being watched and documented by a person he never identified, and keeping the photographs means acknowledging that the person existed. That they were real. That his feeling of being watched during those 14 months was not anxiety or imagination. It was accurate. He had been being watched. His instincts had been correct and he had not listened to them. He listens to them now. He notices when a car has been parked outside his office for more than 2 hours. He notices when a face appears in more than one context. He has become the kind of person who is harder to watch without knowing. He is not sure whether this is a response to trauma or just an adaptation to information. He thinks there is probably no meaningful difference. The face in the reflected car window is still unidentified. He has shown it to the detectives 3 times. He has run it through every image matching tool he can access. He has posted it, anonymized, in forums dedicated to unsolved surveillance cases. Nobody has identified it. The face smiles at him from the photograph in his locked cabinet. He does not look at it often. He looks at it enough to remember that someone else's attention is not something that announces itself. It simply arrives, and by the time you notice it, it has already been present for a very long time. Subscribe to Echoes in the Dark, new cases unsealed every week.